Broadcasting from 88.3 WXUT studio, this is your Saturday morning weekly news update. It is 7:45 in the morning, and today is March 26. It is expected to be cloudy with a high of 39 and a low of 26 degrees. These stories were researched and reported by student journalists at UT 10 News. I'm Matthew Revilla. Let's begin. As the weather changes, new variants of COVID are on the rise. Reporter Trent Croce sat down with a pediatric infectious disease doctor about what we should be on the lookout for.
It's now the third spring since the start of the pandemic, and Lucas County is currently at low risk for COVID. Yet more people getting out again and emerging variants can raise concerns. However, for Dr. Deepa Mukundan, she is confident with where we are.
The reason for that is we have several tools. We have understood the virus a little better than what we knew 2 years ago. And we have also evolved in treatments as well as prevention.
And these new tools have helped us create deeper technology and science at facilities to help understand how to combat the diseases.
Progressively with time and full understanding of how the disease has progressed, we have knowledge about who can get the disease and who can get really severe disease.
And to continue to understand and protect ourselves against COVID this year, Dr. Mukundan says we should be aware of our own risk factors, research virus levels within the community, update ourselves on current interventions available, as well as get immunized. And if you have been exposed, continue to follow safe protocols such as distancing, wearing a mask, and getting tested. Also for Dr. Mukundan, she prepares for COVID risk levels as if it were a forecast.
Each day is like the weather. I will look at what is the risk in the community and what is it that I'm going to be doing, and am I putting myself at risk or not? And as you get used to doing that, it's easy enough to live your life without worrying too much about it.
Like many of us, she is hoping to have an enjoyable spring and summer.
So I am very hopeful, unlike in the spring of 2020 when the learning curve was steep and we did not know much about this virus.
You can check out the Lucas County Health Department's website for more information about COVID within the community, and you can check out the CDC's website for COVID information nationally. Both links to these websites can be found on ut10news.com. We move from news about COVID to a more joyful tune, as a choir group at Rogers High School are moving to the state competition. TR Medley spoke with members of the choir, as well as the choir director Joan Waldorf, to give us more.
I was scared we weren't about to go to state. Then Ms. Waldorf told me that we got straight ones.
To those who don't know, straight ones means this choir didn't just skate by. They passed with flying colors.
Students say that's because their choir director truly believes that each individual is like a single note, making a masterpiece.
She played a very important role. She worked us hard to get us to state.
If we had any other teacher, we probably wouldn't have went to state.
Going to state is a fun experience, but for some of these kids, it means so much more, because singing isn't just a hobby.
When I get older, this is what I want to do.
That part should be super easy.
Dr. Joan Waldorf hopes this experience will help shine a light on her students.
I'm hoping that the community starts coming to our concerts, and I'm hoping that that they support the music programs in our school.
Because Rogers qualified for state, the choir program has already began to grow.
We've already got 64 kids signed up for one choir next year.
Students feel
it's going to be very competitive in state.
But they're
confident we gonna win. I know we is.
The state competition for this year will be held on April 29th in Van Buren, Ohio. No broadcasts are allowed, so if you want to see it, you will have to hit the road. We move from one hopeful tune to another, as a group of young women at a local high school are attempting to help other students in their time of need. For more, we have TR Medley.
The Young Women of Excellence's Wigwam Closet at Waite High School provides students basic necessities they may not have at home. Items include jackets, coats, gloves, hats, soaps, and feminine products. All students have to do is ask any teacher to be let in, and they can grab whatever items they need, no questions asked. Advisors noticed that due to COVID, students have been more reluctant to reach out for help, so the Women of Excellence rebuilt the closet to make it more accessible. There's now a grab-and-go system where every Wednesday after school, students can show up to the cafeteria to grab whatever they need and be on their way, no questions asked.
At the moment, the group isn't taking donations, but they say they will in the near future. If you are looking to help, you may reach out to Waite High School. We are now 1 month into Russia's invasion of Ukraine. President Joe Biden and other NATO allies had a meeting on Thursday, March 24th, where they discussed defense for Ukraine and to work out a response to the economic and security fallout spreading across the world. On March 23rd, the Ukrainian president, Volodymyr Zelensky, called for rallies across the world to stand with Ukraine. That started on Thursday, March 24th. We moved from the battlefield in Ukraine to the ones on Capitol Hill, and the confirmation hearings for President Joe Biden's nominee for the Supreme Court, Ketanji Brown Jackson, who was criticized in her legal record, specifically for sentences in the past involving child pornography cases. In response to the so-called Don't Say Gay bill, some Disney employees joined in for a full-length walkout on Tuesday, March 22nd, in protest to the company's response to the proposed Florida legislative bill. These employees are calling for Disney to stop all their political donations to certain Florida politicians and protect LGBTQIA+ staff from such legislations. And now we turn over to Caleb for sports.
This is your UC 10 Sports Report. I'm Caleb Gill. Some Toledo football players took the field for the NFL Pro Day earlier this week, but first, the women's basketball team took the courts for that WNIT tournament. The first round of the WNIT for Toledo on Friday, March 18th, had the home team coming out the gates hot against the Houston Baptist Huskies. Rockets would open the game scoring 9 of the first 11 points, putting the pressure on the Huskies fast, with the Rockets leading HBU 26-11 at the end of the first. Houston Baptist controlled most of the second after scoring the first 8 points in the quarter. However, Sophia Wired hitting a 3 right before the half helped the Rockets take a lead into the intermission. Neither team was really able to get going to start the second half, but the Huskies went in the fourth on an 8-2 run, helping to put them within striking distance of the Rockets. An 11-2 run from Toledo though ended any hopes of a late game comeback from HBU in the fourth, and 4 points to end the night from Nan Garcia was enough for the Rockets to move on to round 2 of the WNIT, beating Houston Baptist with a final score of 61-51. The second game of the WNIT was played on Monday, March 21st, and UT went up against a familiar face in Kent State. The Golden Flashes scored the first 5 points of the match, giving them a lead over the Rockets for about half of the opening quarter, but a big first quarter from center Hannah Novorowski, scoring 8 points in the quarter alone, along with Sophia Wired nailing one from beyond the arc with under 5 left, gave the Rockets a 14-11 lead that the home team would not let go of. Toledo went in the half, leading Kent State 42-27, after outscoring the Golden Flashes 20-9 in the second quarter. Kent State was actually able to outscore Toledo in the third 20-15, but the closest they would come within the Rockets would only be 10 points. Quenisha Locke was able to get going in the fourth, and that would help Toledo continue building on their lead late in the game, allowing the Rockets to beat the Golden Flashes 79-59. The Rockets traveled to Marquette to take on the Golden Eagles of round 3 of the WNIT tournament on Thursday, March 24th. The NFL draft season's here, meaning there are pro days taking place. For players hoping to hear their names called in April, this is one last opportunity to showcase your talents in front of NFL evaluators. 15 Rocket football players took the field for the pro day on Monday, March 21st, with all of them sharing the same goal: to be playing on Sundays. Pro days are a combination of workouts for players to test different skill sets in front of NFL scouts. There are a variety of workouts from different position drills to the vertical jump, the shuttle drill, the 3-cone, and the headliner, of course, the 40-yard dash. Of those players hoping to be drafted, safety Tyson Anderson has been one that many scouts have had their eyes on. Anderson was the only Rocket football player invited to the NFL Scouting Combine in Indianapolis, Indiana back in February. He was able to improve his stock while there, running a 4.36 40 time, which was the second fastest 40-yard dash at the Combine for all safeties.
They love my versatility, they love my special teams play, they love my length and my speed. That's for sure.
Other players, like running back Brian Koback and cornerback Sam Womack, were not invited to Indy, but they still feel that they have the skills to compete at the next level.
My knack for the ball, I'm always around the ball. I'm run direct for PBU, so they like that I'm around the ball. Hopefully in the NFL I turn it into picks.
Womack was definitely impressive in front of the scouts with his 4.39 40 time, but Koback was impressive as well, running a 4.47 and a vertical jump of 40.5 inches. Koback's jump was higher than all the running backs that were invited to the NFL Combine. The NFL draft starts with the first round on April 28th and lasts until April 30th. Players that do not hear their names during the draft could still sign on with one of the 32 teams as an undrafted free agent following the conclusion of the draft. The Toledo Celtic Soccer Club has opened its doors for parents who are looking for an extracurricular activity for their children. This year, the Toledo Leprechauns Soccer League has cut back the COVID-19 protocols, allowing children from the ages of 3 to 8 to have fun while learning the regiments of soccer in a safe environment. A director of Toledo Celtic Soccer Club, Yusuf Al-Akbar, said that soccer is a great way for kids to learn while also having fun.
We think soccer is an incredible sport. We think it's a great way to keep kids active, to get kids in a team environment, and to get kids outdoors, which is something we really, really need right now through this pandemic.
And that will be it for sports.
And that's it for this week, and thank you for joining us today. For more news, make sure to tune in every Saturday at 7:45 a.m., and you can catch UT 10 live every Thursday at noon, or watch it on WGTE Public Media Fridays at 6:30 p.m. For 88.3 FM WXUT, I'm Matthew Revilla. Have a great day, everyone.